Hello. It's June. It's the 4th of June. Big day. Was a big day. I got married on the 4th of June. It was an incredible wedding. Beautiful setting in the north of Italy, well, Midlands of Italy, with an incredible amount of friends and family. And that was 17 years ago. Things can change, can't they? You can change, I have changed, we all have changed. I was a very successful businesswoman inside of other people's businesses and inside my own. Successful wife, successful mother. But something, regardless of the money, the homes, the statuses, the accolades, there was something missing. The missing piece. P-E-A-C-E. And for many years I have been on a journey of discovering not just peace, but discovering myself, discovering different worlds, different ways to access peace without it being a strain on the body. I think what happened for me anyway, and so many of my peers within the coaching industry, within the healing industry, and within the other industries that I've worked in, because that's another thing. I've worked in so many different places, spaces. It's a bit light. Whether it's the millennials or whether it's your Gen X, we are going through this reconditioning after the deconditioning, understanding that consumer culture has consumed us, running towards this external success has burnt us out. We were given the hamster wheel and the cage and just like the fishing hook over the top of our heads, running towards more. Whatever your more is, whatever my more was, you know, some of us, it was millions of dollars, pounds. Some of us, it was accolades. Some of it was status, looking good for belonging. You know, whether you were belonging to the country club set or whether you were belonging to an industry, whether it was to belong to a family or to belong to a certain, could have just been like the local Irish club. But whatever their silent or sometimes overt codes of belonging are, we were striving to be a part of that. I strived to be a part of that. The difference for me is I had so many different spaces that I felt like I needed to belong to that all had opposing different codes. Fucking stressed me out. But because one of the things that, like many others in my work, I did was I put on keeping up appearances so that you would think I was okay, when actually on the inside I was falling apart and trying to spin all the different plates like da, 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 da. It'll all be fine, I got this. And the thing is, I did got it. Like, I was okay, but I didn't know I wasn't okay. So I didn't know that I was addicted to keeping moving in this success cycle. I didn't know that I was addicted to looking good. I didn't know that I was addicted to being right until it all started crumbling. I had met what my own internal barometer of success felt and looked like. And although there were some bits missing, my energetic had been met. And at that point, I didn't realize this until I did the work later, my body felt safe enough for all of the unprocessed shit, all of the unprocessed grief, all of the unprocessed pain to come up and out. And as it did, that felt like a reckoning. It felt like something that I had the tools to handle what was happening, but I didn't really know. I didn't understand the context. All I knew was that I was about to lose everything I'd worked for. The material success, the homes, the car, the business, the identity, the friendship groups, you know, my own shamanic sisterhood. Everything started to crumble and unravel, and part of me didn't give a shit because I was too fucking tired to hold it all, and the other part scrambled to try and keep it all together because I didn't know who I was without all of that. I didn't know how I would survive without all of that, and I didn't believe that anyone would love or respect me on the other side of losing all of that. So part of what I did was I let it go myself. I actively pushed it away because I could tell it was coming down, so I pushed it away. And part of that crumbling was the decision to move to Ireland 3 years ago now. And, you know, part of my story is that I was always going to move here. Definitely felt that from a young child, but it felt like in those moments that I was escaping from the pain of everything crumbling, but at the same time running towards what I knew was going to heal me. Something softer, something sweeter, something slower, something more real, something that had been inside of me for a long time, screaming to come out, which ironically stopped screaming when I got to Ireland. It started whispering. And it's 3 years on, and I'm looking at the industry that I was working in before, which essentially is the self-development industry in whatever way you want to call it. Some people call it wellness, health, coaching, astrology, whatever the fuck. It's just people wanting to learn more about themselves. And I look back and I see so many of my peers that have been through their own humbling in the last 3 years. And I call it the humbling rather than the crumbling now, because really the last 3 years have been about removing those masks that we have used to keep up appearances, to belong to spaces that actually we have outgrown. And in fact, many people in those spaces have outgrown them, but they're holding on for dear life to stay within them. Whether, you know, that's jobs or relationships or homes or just identities. But what I'm seeing is, you know, I report on patterns. I see patterns everywhere, but I am actually inside of the pattern myself. So that's why I'm sharing this today. I'm seeing so many of my peers that are now starting to come back online and talk about their own personal journey, not just their expertise. Because in order to be really real in this world, it's not just about what you know, it's about who you are. It's about who you're being. And I've spent a long time, a good 3 decades, learning, acquiring knowledge, you know, assimilating knowledge into wisdom, clearing out my wounds, whether it be in educational ways or like somatic, helping other people through their own challenges, their own traumas, releasing their own limits, allowing them to become aware of who they truly are and what they get to be and live on this planet, and how to go deeper into their peace and how to conjure up what they want to experience, and not to be chained to that material success that we've all been sold is the way to measure success. but I haven't been sharing my own journey. And so many of us are coming to that realization now too, that if you want to teach peace, you need to demonstrate it. And I really am in a peaceful place, but it wasn't simple. It was challenging to have my ego crumbled. It was challenging to release the things that I had determined were success in my life, that the people I love determined were success. You know, to have people around me be like, what the fuck are you doing? And really ridiculing me and ridiculing my choices, and still being like, no, I know this is right. And also not even I know this is right. I've got no choice, actually. It wants to be released. Material success, identity, my business has changed. Certainly when I came to Ireland, thought it would be peaceful straight away, but actually there was a lot of turbulence. You know, I fell in love, which was incredible. I had my heart broken, which was shit. I had people I thought were friends attack me and speak not very nicely about me and my work, even though I felt like I had given them my heart and a lot of help. And that was challenging for me and for my children. But I will say that I am in a sweet place of peace right now, because I can see exactly what all of that meant and what all of that was for. At the time, I could kind of feel it, but I didn't want to admit that. So we're now in the month of Gemini. We're in a space where Uranus in Gemini, as I've said before, is splitting all of the ether. It's splitting the ways in which we look at ourselves. It's also very communicative. And over the next couple of weeks, Uranus squares the nodes of fate. The North Node is the direction we're going. The South Node is what we're leaving behind. And the North Node at the moment is in Pisces, which is universal truth, the truth of all things for all time. A lot of that is confronting for people, because we've lived in an environment where we thought we knew the truth about ourselves and other people. And yet what we're going to see now is some shocking and surprising revelations about who we are. So truths about ourselves and then about others. And the South Node is in Virgo. Virgo is the healer, but it's also very organized, persnickety, and just so. And so what we're trying to do here as a humanity is let go of that nitpicking, be more free, let go of holding on to the security of this is who I am, this is my identity. I've definitely been through many identity deaths and rebirths in the last 3 decades, but nothing like the last 3 years. So I feel like I'm going to be sharing a lot more about that on here, on YouTube. I've created a program for women in particular that want to learn how to access more of their peace. I'm going to be sharing a lot more on Substack about that. And this is going to be a journey. I'll be on the journey too, of looking at those parts of ourselves that we have hidden, that are now starting to crumble. We don't want to hold up anymore. We don't want to pretend anymore. Don't want to hide anymore. You know, this peace, this love, this vibration that I hold in my body, I'm not hiding it anymore so that other people can pretend that they're okay, because I get to live my life just as much as everybody gets to live theirs. And so the teacher comes full circle. And yeah, I've got a really beautiful 6-part series that I want to share with women about how my consciousness split and what I can get to share with you. For the women that have done everything and been through all of the healing journeys, and yet there's still that missing piece. I think I'll be sharing it this week. There's things going on in the background at MaryKate Medicine that are really cool. Corporate things, astrosoma things, the mirror things. But this is a really personal one. Really personal. I want to share about my heartbreak. I want to share about how I moved through it. What I learned. What my circle learned from it too. I want to share about my business and what I've learned from that. And I feel like it's time. It's definitely time. And it's been a long time coming. So the astrology this week is about the truth. We've had the tunnel of truth full moon. And now I get to tell you my truth. So if you want to be in on my truth, register, subscribe on Substack. I'll be sharing there. I'll share a little bit on here too. But the private juicy stuff I think is going to go in there. We can't be telling you everything on here, you know. Or can we? Fuck it. Maybe we can. So, yeah, tag a friend that needs to hear this. Tag a friend that has been in the crumbling or the humbling in the past 3 years. Tag a friend that you know needs to be inside of this conversation, because the truth will set you free, but first it might piss you off. And I'll tell you something, I have been pissed off. But I feel freer now than I ever have. More peaceful than I ever have. More in love than I ever have been. And that's down to the process that I have allowed myself to go through. And now I want to share that process with you. So much love. Mwah.